who has been engaging on a tireless nights in order to make that happen, and to the high-level climate champion, Dr. Mahmoud, for really working not only at the youth level, but also at the universities level day and night. I would like to start by responding to the demands that came out from the Global Youth Statement. Each of the 15 themes that you have been discussing over the 3 days of the COI are fully integrated within our spectrum as COP27. If we're talking about the energy, for an example, that one of the things, the just energy transition, we would find that in one of the thematic days, but much more important, what are the technologies that would be affordable to the local communities, but to the vulnerable communities, and how youth can engage into that. If we're talking about adaptation and loss and damage, we have tried hard as presidency to include that in the agenda, which was never happened in many of the COPs before. But much more important, there is an important message that I would like to deliver here. From day one, when we called that as a COP for implementation, we wanted to make sure that this is an inclusive COP. Part of your global statement, I read so, an inclusive approach to climate governance. And I would like to stop here, because if we analyze that statement, we can see how much the COP presidency is providing evidence to that. First of all, the level and the effort that the government of Egypt has been putting over the last 11 months in preparation for that COP is huge, and I really mean huge. Everyone was there around the table. Our Prime Minister has been doing meetings every week. We've been going down all the way to ensure that all organization is being done. But that's not enough for the governance. What we wanted to make sure for an inclusive COP, that there is a regular formal process that came out from the UNFCCC that has created the COI 17. And thanks to the UNFCCC for taking that decision with the COP26 presidency on formalizing that process, and the decisions would be taken. But for us, it was much more important than that. We knew that, for an example, there are youth around the world that cannot go into that formal process. They have to be part of the UNGO, they have to be part of the accreditation process. And for that reason, our president was very clear last January, when we had the first session on COP27 preparation during the World Youth Day. The clear instruction said, we will have a green zone. We will have a zone near the blue zone. We will have it at walking distance. We would have it as big as it should be, to include everyone that does not have a voice in the formal process. An inclusive COP cannot be a COP with those who are most affected, are not most hurt. So what we've done is a green zone that includes the youth, the indigenous people, the local communities, the academia, the private sector, and even the school children was functioning last night in the green zone. What is happening right now as we're speaking within the blue zone formal process of the Youth Day, at the other side of the road, we planned the same thematic day would take place, getting those voices heard, because they are part of that process. And without them, we will still be leaving some, or at least one behind, which we didn't want to do. That's the first thing. The second thing, systemic and radical action. We wouldn't be doing an implementation if we're not starting by ourselves as a government of Egypt. The effort that has been done to raise the awareness and engage the youth is immense. Thanks to the UN partners, and thanks to Elena, to the UNDP and the UNFPA for all the engagement of the youth that had been done throughout the past 11 months, so that we can engage them properly and systemically. Last but not least, Without implementation, we're not moving ahead. We will be talking. Part of COP27 is the innovation hub and the startup and the entrepreneurs. Can we be part of the solution, or only we talk as a youth and be part of the problem? And for that reason, we find that in the Solutions Day, which is the last day of the COP, a number of startups was there. Last but not least,
يوم الحلول وهو اليوم الأخير للكوب سوف يكون هناك مجموعة من الشركات الناشئة، وأنا أستفيد من وجود دكتور محمود هنا لكي نتحدث عن الأمثلة وعن المبادرات الخاصة بالشباب. وتم منح مساحة كبيرة للشباب في المحافظات المحلية، ليس فقط لتمثيل العمل المناخي ولكن أيضا للتعامل مع الإجراءات التكيف، لأنه بدون التكيف وبدون إدماج الشباب في العمليات الخاصة بالتكيف وكذلك المؤسسات الأكاديمية لن يكون هناك فائدة. نحن يجب أن نعمل معا من أجل التنفيذ، وهذا هو شعارنا، وسوف نكون هناك وسوف نثبت أننا قادرين على التنفيذ لأننا متحدون معا. وشكرا جزيلا.